Welcome to the Visual Cast. I'm your host, Alon, aka Rem. The Visual Cast is a hybrid podcast where we interview some of the most unique, interesting, high-level, and exciting artists from all over the world. Entering into Season 2, we will be starting a monthly live stream to our paid subscribers. To join in on the live stream with Q&As, polls, and some surprises, click on the join button below. Your subscription will massively support our channel and bring us further to creating a community of like-minded individuals who love, create, and immerse themselves with the visual arts and the visual world. For those unable to join financially, don't worry. The episode, like all of our episodes, will be available on Thursdays for everyone to watch. And if you want to support us, like and subscribe and share with anybody you think will enjoy the podcast. I really hope you guys enjoy this episode. Now, without any further ado, here's the Visual Cast.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
Welcome to the Visual Cast. I'm joined today by a very special guest, actually. Somebody who I've kind of been following for a pretty short amount of time, but always kind of super impressed by what they're showing on their Instagram and kind of just like the, younger generation kind of showing us what they're doing and getting us kind of like, giving us this kind of like, this is what it's going to be like, which is awesome. I'm always so inspired by that. And I'm just really excited to have her on the podcast. So welcome, Nele. Nele.
Hey. Nele.
Nele.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being on. It's, you just kind of popped up in my feed one day. It's like, that kind of joke of, Instagram or whatever, the algorithm kind of showing us all this, it listens to your conversation and then gives you like some sort of advertisement or, for me as a male, it's always like sex. It's like just this is what is kind of like on the internet, but then all of a sudden, every once in a while, I get these like awesome art, more focused around art and kind of like, new media stuff. And also I have a new profile with the podcast. It doesn't have any of my, crazy personal algorithms. It's just like, a very clean algorithm, which is great. I just like kind of saw your stuff and was just super, super impressed. It's like just cool, like there's something cool about you and about what you're doing. And I know that like cool is like a very broad term, but I don't know. I just love it. And then kind of like going deeper into what you're doing and your audio stuff. Yeah. I mean, like, I just kind of want to start off with just asking you like a very general question of like, what is it like to be young and be in this kind of like digital, world, like I didn't grow up with it. I kind of like grew up and then all of a sudden it came, but you're kind of growing up with it. And now it's like AI and new media and all this stuff. Like, what is it like,
It's super exciting. It's
Hell
just
yeah.
like, to me, it's like a big playground and you just explore stuff and there's like, you can see so much and I just want to like take all of that and like inhale that and explore it, I guess.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But honestly, I didn't grow up with media a lot. Like I never really like I got my first phone when I was like 15 and then was also like super limited. Like social media is super new to me.
Interesting.
It's not been really long.
Is that like your parents or is that like the community you're in?
No, I mean like I feel like my parents, they did care about like how much time I would spend on my phone and stuff.
Totally.
And,
Smart. I love this.
I feel like
It's so
also
funny.
I never really had like a connection to it. Like I didn't need it somehow.
Mm,
But um,
interesting. Are you more like outdoorsy person, or is it just kind of?
yeah, I think so. Also, like in terms of art and like touch designer, like this is all super new to me. I have a
Mm-hmm.
really analog background. Like I grew up
Mm.
painting and like
Oh,
building
cool.
objects, like physical things and stuff. So, um, yeah, I'm really a baby. This is really new to me.
Hey man, we're all babies at some point, you know. That's having a baby, that's one of the biggest realizations is like even this asshole in traffic who's cursing at me was at one point gaga and googling and, you know, drinking milk and like, you know, everybody was a baby. So, for sure. Um yeah, I mean, you know, I kind of I must say, like, I really was fascinated by your page just because of like the multidisciplinary aspect of it. Like, you know, you kind of like, and you can kind of follow your trajectory a little bit through your Instagram, which I thought was really fun as well, which is very interesting.
Mhm.
Um, but like, you just kind of have this like very interesting aesthetic, and kind of like interest, like you know, with this kind of fabrication of clothing. And I think I even saw, like, if I go even further back, there was something like with like jewelry or something, like you were making something,
Oh
and then
yeah,
all of a
true.
sudden there's like a shift, and all of a sudden you're like playing with touch designer and new, you know, like design and new media. And I just find it so cool, like that can be your story, you know, of like this is like something that you found, and then all of a sudden it's like taking over your sphere and like your creative, you know, flow. Um, so before we kind of get into like how you found touch designer, because I think that that's like obviously like a more, you know, a very interesting kind of topic of like, you know, how did this come to be, and like you're saying, you're like breathing it in now. Um, you grew up in Germany, and we're kind of finding out now that you kind of grew up a little bit more rural, maybe like a little bit more, a little bit less digital, but more like was there art involved? Are your parents artists? Is there people around you that were kind of like into creative expression? Where does that come from for you?
I have no idea. My parents, they aren't artists. They
Mm.
are, but they always supported me. I feel like when I was a kid, I had a lot of freedom. Like my parents would support me with everything. Like I don't know, like they would buy me art supplies and I could just experiment with a lot of stuff and
Mm.
I had a lot of freedom when I was a kid.
That's awesome.
Um, but um, yeah, I
Do you
don't.
feel like you're like from a young age you kind of, like you said, you painted and you were interested in physical things? Is that something that, do you kind of, can you put your finger on where you were inspired by that, or is it just something that naturally came to you?
Like with like how do you mean?
Like with art and
Like
just being interested in creative aspects instead of like, you know, other things. You know, you obviously have an eye for design, whether it's clothing or digital stuff. Like, is that just natural to you? Is there somebody that inspired you? Like, do you remember like a teacher or something? I'm always interested by like
hmm
the sparks, you know?
hmm I mean, I remember like I would since I can think, like from what I can remember, I would always create stuff. It's
Mm.
like it's supernatural. I remember in kindergarten I would make like clay sculptures and I would
Hell yeah.
always be in the painting room like every day and not do anything else. I would just I don't know. And I love like to I have a huge interest in like trash laying around
Mm.
and like
Like
to take
repurposing.
something yeah, and like take something that's kind of like nothing to
Mm.
others and
Mm-hmm.
like bring it like bring a new meaning into it somehow.
Mm.
Um,
So cool.
I don't know,
So
I feel
cool.
like it's always been there.
Nice. That's, I mean, that's natural, you know? That's like a natural inherent thing. I guess, you know, not to be too like judgmental, but like I guess it's kind of like every kid's like that, and like maybe like parents can steer or let
Hmm
things happen, you know? Um yeah, I mean, it's like it's just a fascinating thing with kids. You never really yeah, you just never know, like if it, and I guess it's like kind of like a lesson of like, yeah, like if you're, I'm always internalizing like raising a kid because I'm raising a kid now, but like, it's like you just let them do what they want to do, and if they're inclined to go in a certain direction, then that's kind of that's a good thing, right? It's like a natural thing.
Hmm. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely.
And growing up in Germany, like, I love Germany. Was saying to you this before, like definitely one of my favorite places. I'm working on my German passport now, actually, to be able to go live in Europe. So, what is that like? What's like growing up in Germany? You're young. You're a new generation of people. That's like the theme of the podcast. You're young and inspired. But what was it like growing up in Germany? Was there was it normal? Like, you travel a lot, so you kind of have a good understanding of the world a little bit. Like, what do you think your upbringing was like?
I mean, I grew up in a really tiny village with only like 200 people living in there.
Wow, that's cool.
And my dad is from Cologne. It's a city in the west of Germany. And when I was 12, we moved to Cologne. So it was like me from being like always outside, like in the woods and like playing in dirt. Then there was this transition into going into a big city. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
was already used to it because all of my family comes from the city.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I feel like it was the perfect switch because I feel like when you live like in a really tiny place where there's nothing going on, there's like one bus coming every day. It's kind of exciting to get out, like especially when you turn a little bit older, like when you're 12,
Mm,
13, 14, and you want to like become a little bit more independent.
totally.
Um, so yeah, we would move to the city. And since then I've been there, and
Nice.
I didn't move. I mean, I travel a lot, but um, I mean, I'm still in my studies, so that's why I'm kind of stuck in Cologne.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us a little about that. You're studying integrated design. Was this something that you always wanted to study? Is it something that in high school did you get like a little bit of a taste for it, or yeah, how did you get into studying this?
It was super randomly. I always wanted to study arts, like really like fine arts or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Mm-hmm.
But that like would have meant that I would maybe have to move to another city in Cologne.
Mm.
Um, and I graduated from school in 2022, so it's pretty recent.
Mm.
Um, and then I wanted to stay in Cologne, and then I was just looking around. Okay, what can I do? What is something creative? And also, my parents, they were like, studying arts may not be the best thing to do because
Mm.
what are you gonna do after that?
Your
You
parents,
know?
after like be an artist, they stepped in and they're like, maybe. Yeah. It's funny.
No, yeah. But like, um, no, I thought it's like design. Like I just saw that like this
Mm-hmm.
like integrated design thing, and I read through it, and I just honestly I didn't really think about anything. I also like I never wanted to be a designer. Also, when I
Mm-hmm.
started, I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. I'm just
Right, right,
here,
right.
which is different now, but it um I was kind of blind. I just had
Hmm.
to apply for something, and then I did it. Um,
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Like, are you enjoying school? Is your second year, or you're in your second year now? You're gonna be in your
um,
second year?
I will be in the third year
Oh,
actually.
nice. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I will just go into the fifth semester, um,
nice,
like after the summer.
exciting.
Um, and I mean, it was kind of rough at the beginning because as you know, I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I
Or what am I
don't
doing
aim
here? Yeah,
anything.
right,
I
right,
just
right.
want to learn stuff. I want to be creative. I don't know. But I think since the second or third semester, it kind of clicked.
Mm,
And now
it's
I'm
awesome.
really, um, I feel like I can now like position myself better and also be like, I want to be a designer
Right.
and I want to be an artist and I want to do design research and stuff.
Hmm. Hell yeah.
So I feel like it's slowly, I'm slowly going somewhere, wherever that will be.
Yeah, dude. Like this is life. Not to be like this is one of those episodes where it's like everything I say, I feel like I'm being preachy or like listen to me, young girl. But um,
Yeah.
really one of the best advices that my father gave me. Um, was when I was in film school and I was getting like really into VJing, and I was like, I'm starting to VJ and I'm starting to make all this digital art, and then at the same time I'm like studying film, and it's like kind of like they're the same thing, but I didn't really understand this, and I was like, what should I do? What should I focus on? Like, what should I put more effort in? And he's like, just very simple, just like whatever comes, just do it, like,
Hmm.
and it's like it was a simple thing, but it was such good advice because the more I allowed that to happen, the more I enjoyed what I was doing, and the more I kind of like, I kind of got a window into this industry and this industry and this world and this world, and it was like, okay, I like this part, I don't like this part. Okay, I'm gonna move on to this thing. Okay, I like this, I don't like this, and then you kind of, there's no, especially in the art world, the moment you start conforming to a certain thing, I think that's kind of like you better be really happy with that thing and be really passionate about that thing, because once you start getting deeper into it, then yeah, your parents are right. Like you need to make a career out of something, right? So it's
Hmm.
like, not a career per se, but like you need to be able to support yourself in some way, and what better way than through your art? So yeah, I mean, it's just like kind of go with the flow, like enjoy what it comes to you and take what comes to you. Um, okay, enough of my lessons. So uh, yeah, I guess I would love to kind of talk to you a little bit about like I want to talk to you about like virality and social media, but I want to talk about that like a little bit later because I feel like you have a lot of insight into this. Just to
Hmm.
kind of show your page one more time. I mean, you have like 100,000 followers. You have millions of views, if not multiple millions of views on your videos, and it's kind of like instead of asking like why, right? Because I think to me it's pretty clear. Like you're cool, you're doing interesting things, it's multidisciplinary, it's interesting. I guess for me it's more like, was there an intention? Like was there like, okay, I'm gonna follow a trend or I'm gonna do something thing. You know what I mean? Like no. I know that the answer is no, but it's more like um yeah, like not what makes something viral. I want to talk about that later, but more like for yourself, like as a young person, you're going to school, you're starting to get into this thing. Did it happen just like randomly? Did it just like kind of like what has that experience been like? You have a management, agency that helps you. Like
Yeah.
what has that been like, that experience? It must be crazy.
The thing is, I have a past in the internet. Like, so I used to do TikToks.
Okay.
When I was like 16, 17, I would
Okay.
post TikToks where I would put on clothes. So it was kind of
Uh-huh.
like influencer, like,
Oh,
you
cool.
know. And I
Interesting.
feel like this is what I've been doing for a little bit of time.
You know it. You know
Um,
that world.
I do, and I feel I'm kind of a little bit stuck in it. I mean, right
Mm.
now it's like I'm breaking out of it,
Mm.
which is amazing.
Mm.
Um, but it's still kind of part of me. Like I have
Mm.
so many conversations with people, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're an influencer, right?" And I'd
Mm.
be like, "No, I'm not." Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, this is where I come from. But then at some point, I got really bored of it. Like
Mm.
I'm not a fan of this industry. And then,
Mm.
I also started studying and stuff, and I would do like my little projects and everything.
Mhm.
And to me, Instagram was always something where I would never post anything because you would know the people on there, because you would like, you would follow all of your friends and stuff. And then I would be kind of,
Right.
I remember being a little bit embarrassed about starting to post stuff on there. And then at some point I just didn't care, and I just wanted to. I feel like I've learned to not to be embarrassed about it and to just show what I
What you're
explore.
doing. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and this is how it started. And I mean, I also
Interesting.
deleted my TikTok, so
You did?
Instagram is what is left now. Yeah.
What was like just out of interest? How many followers did you have on the TikTok?
I think it was kind of the same. It was like
100,000.
150,000 or
Wow.
something. I don't
That
know.
must have been, was it
Yeah.
hard to delete it? Or was it like you were just totally done with it?
No, I'm totally done. I'm totally done.
It was just that you were just like, fuck this, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, and I'm like, I feel like this is just my personal opinion, but I feel
Yeah.
like Instagram has kind of taken over TikTok.
Mm.
Um, and
Interesting.
to me, TikTok is really like, it's like another generation. Like,
Totally.
it's like, and I saw a really funny thing, someone saying, um, a cigarette is like Instagram, and TikTok is like a vape.
A vape.
And
Yeah, totally.
this is so
So
accurate.
funny.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
um
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, cool. That it kind of makes actually sense that you came from that kind of like influencer type of place because like and I really I want like to make an emphasis that like I know what you're doing and it's very clear that you're authentic about what you're doing, and maybe that was like a little bit of a feeling of like this influencer aspect is like you can only be so authentic if like what you're selling is yourself, right? It's like there's like it's like you can be an authentic influencer, but at some point what is the authenticity that you're like it's kind of like that the thing is like weird because you're selling authenticity. So I kind of understand like wanting to break away from that, but I do see like the way that you're kind of like grabbing attention, with the videos, with the editing, with what you're showing, is thought out. Like there's thought there. Is that
mhm.
again? Is that something that you just kind of picked up from this kind of TikTok? A few years in TikTok. Is it something that you learned from somebody? Inspired by somebody? Like, what is that kind of thing there?
Um I mean, I feel like I've learned like I know some aspects that make people watch a video,
Mm,
but
mm,
it's like not I don't really have a strategy or anything. Like
mm.
I don't edit a video and I'd be like, okay, I have to do it this and this and this and
Right,
bring
right,
it
right.
into a 10-second reel. It's just it's kind of like it's just a feeling,
Mm,
because I feel like I just have a view for it. Like I will look at it and then I will decide, okay, would I watch this if it would be
mm.
on my For You page?
Interesting.
And so it's what I know,
Interesting.
it has to be something needs to happen all the time. It has to be
Totally.
fast, 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 fast,
Yeah.
fast, a little bit of like zooming in or stuff. Like it's just
Hmm.
really simple editing that can bring a video to really next level.
Totally.
It's
Yeah, and it's I also like again I don't want to go into that place of like um, virality. I want to talk about that later because I think it's an interesting topic. But it's like um, what you're showing like is cool. Like okay, what you're showing is cool and interesting, and that maybe like grabs attention. But I think there's a lot of substance. Like I'll give an example, maybe like to like a visual example. Okay, like point clouds, check. Super cool, right? Like you're interacting with a physical thing, you're middying, you're playing with the thing, super cool. Like I don't think that there's okay, and then at the same time, how many times like me as somebody who my whole Instagram is this thing. Yeah, I've seen a bazillion point clouds. I've seen a bazillion people like integrating MIDI into digital stuff, but for some reason, I don't know, the way that you're implementing it, or the way that you're showing it, or maybe just you as a person brings me in. It brings me in. Um,
yeah, I get that. I get what you're saying.
like it's not
I
even like
honestly, I don't know
yeah,
what it is. I
yeah.
don't,
What is it?
for real, I don't know it. I really like, I have so many conversations with people asking me this, like how, like why do people go crazy for that? And then I
Yeah,
also
yeah.
sometimes I feel a little bit like,
Mm,
there are so many, this everything I do, like all of this is already there. Like I'm like,
mm,
I didn't invent anything or something. I'm just
mm.
like combining stuff, I guess. Um, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's something interesting, like because it's like you just said, right? You didn't come up with a point cloud or like making it noisy and stuff, and and like and again, it's like not like I'm not like shitting on you or anything, but like the implementation is not like even advanced, right? Like I'm like a super geek nerd, like I'm totally interested when like a node graph is dense and like the technical thing is more cooler than the actual visual thing, and you're kind of like almost not even thinking about that. It's like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter like what the implementation is. It's like the result, and the result is interesting, is flashy, is cool, whatever that answer is. But I think it's such an interesting kind of like, and again, I don't think you're thinking about this. I'm overthinking it, but I think it's such a cool approach to kind of like social media and kind of getting your art out there in this aspect of like, this is me. I'm doing sorry, got a little bit of a tantrum happening upstairs. But this is me. I'm doing my thing, and if you're interested and you're down for that, like that's cool. Which I think is really cool. I think it's authenticity. I think is really what breeds like good art and kind of like what brings kind of art into the eyes of beholders and people that are interested. Um, so one more video I want to show and kind of like talk about is like this kind of like green screen paint, because you spoke about like what it is and everything, and I love the simplicity of the of the implementation. Like it's VFX. This is like a VFX thing. You have another one here when you're in bed. If I can find it, maybe it's is it this one? There's one where like you're like lying in bed and it's like your body is disconnected from your clothes. Um,
Oh, oh yeah,
I think it's somewhere here.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
maybe it's not. Maybe it's in the reels.
Maybe a little
But
bit. Yeah, yeah, that might be possible.
but either way, it's like maybe this is a good example. Where is it? It's such a funny one.
Oh yeah,
Um,
the on the down, like
yeah, this one. Yeah,
you
totally
mean
this one.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, like it's such a fun like VFX kind of like little thing. Is this I feel like this is almost emblematic of like the TikTok Vine generation. I can't remember that guy's name, but he's like the main guy that does like all these VFX shots that are like magic. I can't remember his name now. He's like a really really famous influencer. But is that where you kind of like did you find this VFX stuff through TikTok and through things, or is it something that you just kind of like interested in from movies or like kind of like magic almost? It's like almost like digital magic.
I mean, it's a lot. That's a good question, actually,
Hmm.
that comes from. But I remember when I was like 13 or 14, I started not working for a magazine, but I would submit work to it
Hmm.
like every day. And this is when I first like got the Adobe Cloud, and like my dad, he like made me a subscription, and then I would just mess around with it. I don't know. And then
Hmm.
I would just lay in bed, and like sometimes you just have some random ideas, and then I'm like, okay, how can I bring that to life? And then I would
Hmm.
just watch tutorials on how to do it and just try to create something. Um,
Totally.
yeah.
It's I love that. I love that. So it's just like you're really just kind of like an inspired kind of person that's just kind of looking for ways to express yourself, and and your medium or whatever your audience is just kind of like in this social media world. So it's kind of packaged
Mhm.
like this in some way. Um, have you had like so this magazine when you were submitting things to them, was it images?
Yeah, it was, yeah, it started, yeah, photoshopping
Just
things,
photoshopping,
like really
like collages
weird,
almost.
silly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um,
So cool.
yeah,
Have you
and then yeah. Have you?
No, please.
I
Have you like had your work shown in other places, like in galleries or on like different mediums besides social media?
um no, not really. I feel
Not
like this
really.
is something that is happening right now.
Mm.
Like, or this is like where this is slowly like I can feel it that it's like becoming like bigger and that it's going out of Instagram, which is kind
Mm-hmm.
of cool.
Yeah, dude,
Um,
that's awesome. That's the whole point, right? Especially if you're not
yeah,
if you're not interested in influencing and stuff like this, like you definitely want to be able to get out of it for sure.
yeah, yeah. I think it's also because I never like. I mean, I post this, but I never aimed anything. Like, I
Mm.
never, I didn't have like, okay, I will post now because I want to have a certain amount of followers.
Right.
I really don't care about, like, I don't mind if I had 100 followers, I would still post that, you know?
Totally.
Like,
I
it's
totally
really
understand that.
something that's just happening, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean it's very clear to me that that's the case. I think I would try and find out why, but then again, maybe it's almost like why do you need to know why, right? Like it's working, so just like if it's working, then that's
Yeah.
fine. Maybe if you understood why, then you'd be overthinking it a little bit too much, and it wouldn't actually service you. But there is something about like why, like that is something that like if you can understand, that could be very valuable. Maybe not in the valuable that you want to go into, but I definitely think it could be. Um, okay, cool. So you're obviously very into like DAWs and kind of like virtual racks and things like this, and music just in general, I guess, like sound design of some sort. Is this something that kind of is part of your life from a young age? When did you get into it? What is about it that interests you when it comes to these things?
Um, like audio is really new to me. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
would always make visuals
Mm-hmm.
and like also when you make TikToks and stuff, you create the visual, but you always
Right.
take a sound that's already there.
Uh-huh.
And um, it like a year ago, or maybe less than a year ago, I was thinking about like, okay, but if I would do my own audio, that would bring me like, or that would maybe may bring my work to a whole nother level.
Mm.
Um, but I was always too, I don't know what it is with music, but I always had a little respect, or like for some reason I couldn't start making music, or I also didn't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
Um, until the beginning of this year, I had it's called intermediate project. It's a project that you have to do in uni. It's like kind of a pre-thesis.
Okay.
And this is what got me into music, or like creating
Wow.
my own music, because I built like this setup that turns handwriting into music.
Uh-huh.
Um, and this kind of let me like enjoy it and be like,
Mm.
okay, I want to know more. I want to like also like modular synthesizers. I
Mm.
started being a big fan of modular synthesizers, like the fact
Mm.
that you just have a wave and you shape it. This is
Right. So
insane.
cool, huh?
It's Yeah, it's so exciting. Um, but yeah, the sound, I would say sound is something really, really new to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, but yeah, now I'm really locked in. Like I spend so much time on VCV Rack, just like messing around with it. Um, yeah,
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, audio is such an interesting world. I myself never, like, just from VJing for so many years, you kind of hear music differently because you're thinking about, like, the structure of it. And I love music. Actually, I remember now, one of the things that really turned me on to you was Radiohead. You feature Radiohead a bunch. And I was like, oh, she's got good taste.
yeah,
I get like Radiohead, whatever. Everybody loves Radiohead, but it's like you obviously love it in a different way. Um, uh, so okay, are you like? Do you think you're like nerdy, like geeky, like your ability to just like learn a new program, a new software, like? is it like a generational thing? Is it like, because you said you grew up outdoors and like you didn't get technology until like a little bit later? Like, is it like almost like a rebelling thing? You know, like what do you think? Like, yeah.
Um, I wait. Can you say that again?
Where do you get this like like ability or want or yeah, like um yeah, like inspiration or like to learn all these new softwares and to like be like inclined to digital things, nerdiness and geekiness,
Yeah, I mean, what's definitely inspiring is social media. Like, I remember the first time I've heard about Touch Designer was probably a year ago,
hmm
and I would see these videos of this guy, Pepe Brick.
okay.
Like, he's doing these kind of
Check it
things
out.
with VCV Rec and
hmm
Touch Designer, and I would see it, and my mind was just blown. I was like,
mm.
what is this guy doing? What are all of these cables? What is he doing with his hands? Like, why is he controlling it? And, this is just, then I want to
Oh
know.
yeah, of course I know this guy.
And
Yeah, I
then
love this guy.
eh, yeah, um, yeah, he's really great. He's doing great stuff. He has a really cool mind. Um,
So you saw him
but
doing it and you're like, I want to do this too? Is it like as simple as that, of just like you're just super interested by things? Like you're almost naturally what's the word? Like interest there's another word for interested. Um
I get obsessed.
oh, you get
Like,
obsessed?
I
Okay.
can get
Okay, okay.
really easily obsessed with things, and then I
Mhm.
want to know.
Mhm.
And um,
Interesting.
yeah, I think this is, yeah, it's funny because now, yeah, I just posted like one of the first videos with like VCV Rec, and I remember a couple of months ago, like I had no idea what that is, like how it's working. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
there are a lot of tutorials, but I mean, I don't have like a fun, like I'm not really a tech person. I don't know coding. I don't know anything.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I was really like, oh, I need to
So
know. I
do you think it's just that the tools today are easier to use and there's like more information, or is it like your obsession? Like, okay, let me phrase this in a different way. Like, okay, you're in school with a bunch of people now, right? You have a lot of colleagues in school. You see something and you're like, okay, I want to learn how this works. You get obsessed with it and you figure it out. The person next to you sees the thing, I love this, I want to figure it out. Do they have less, like, are they less likely to figure it out? Like, is your obsession what's kind of like making you figure it out, or is it like just we're in this world nowadays where it's like if you like something you can kind of like do it?
um I think it's a little bit of both, but it
Mm-hmm.
definitely I feel like, I mean, I don't want to, but like the people in my surrounding, they would tell me that I'm like nerdy. Like the
Okay.
people like
Okay. Okay.
everyone in my
Okay.
environment would really be like, okay, you need to
Right.
calm down and just breathe and like eat and do something other
Then
than
just
that.
computer
Because
stuff.
sometimes yeah, I'm just in this tunnel. I don't know what
Mm.
it is, but I cannot.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Um, I love having like a learning curve in something. Um,
Mm. Okay. Okay. So
so
that's interesting. Um, a learning curve. Like is it a challenge that you enjoy, or it's
yeah,
the
and I'm
challenge?
like I love doing stuff that is like where I
New.
don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, complete.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I want to know. Um,
Interesting.
so yeah, but I'm also sometimes I don't have enough patience, so I can get frustrated really easily,
Okay.
and I will like freak out, and then I will like leave it behind for a week. But then I'm like, wait, I should continue, and then
Mm.
it's like a rabbit hole. It's like,
For sure.
uh, yeah.
For sure. Interesting. That's like something so valuable to know about yourself. That it's like that, like, what interests you or what really inspires you is this challenge to kind of figure something out. I think a lot of people, for myself even, for years, it's like a little bit different, but there is some sort of correlation. But for years, I was like, I'm an artist. I want to be an artist. I need to do, I'm an artist, blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of realized that, like, what I love about art, like the stuff that I was doing, the digital stuff, is like the problem solving. I'm like, I'm like a little bit more lazy than you, maybe. Like, I'm not really interested in challenges. I want things to be easy. But like the solving the problem, like there's an issue here. The issue is projection mapping. The issue is VJing. The issue is making art for an album cover. Whatever it is, I want to solve it. And when I solve that, when I get a final thing, or like I get to a place where it's like it's working, that's what I really love. That's what inspires me. And like, as I got older, I kind of shifted a little bit away from art and became a little bit more of a technical artist. And now I'm like way more in like the design, technical systems kind of like mindset. I still make art and pretty things, but I'm less like, I feel more fulfilled when I like build a UI or like a system, whereas like I used to feel more fulfilled when I was like getting my VJ set together and going to perform. I still get a lot of fulfillment from that too, but it's like, yeah, you find these things throughout life of like, okay, well, I thought I was this and I thought I was that, but actually the thing that really inspires me and really like pushes me forward is something totally different than what I thought. So if you can kind of like see that already now, that like what you're really enjoying is like this challenge and solving this challenge, it's going to be so useful for you, because maybe you don't need to be a digital artist. Maybe you don't need to be an audio engineer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe you do, but find the thing that like really makes you like the light bulbs going off and like the things happening, and you're gonna go far. That's like lesson 101. Like, find the thing you're passionate about and go for it. But I think when we're like younger or even older, you think that what you're passionate about is like the story, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna be an artist. Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be an influencer. I'm gonna do this. But really, like the real thing that you're passionate about is like something under the surface or something above the surface. Yeah. So that's awesome. So challenges. So do you force yourself into challenges? Will you give yourself a challenge of like, okay, here's Touch Designer, I'm gonna now learn it, or here's Media Pipe, I'm gonna learn it?
I mean, it's like, it's not like that I have a exact goal, but I'm not like I want to do this in order to be there.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing it for something. I'm just doing it to myself. Like, I don't really aim anything. It just pulls me in, and then
You're in it.
I'm like in my world. Yeah. Yeah, then I'm locked in.
That's cool. I love it. I love it. It's so valuable. You know that, right? Like, do you notice that?
That it's valuable.
Yeah, like this wanting to do things and like, complete things and challenge yourself. I was never like that as a kid. Like, even in my 20s, like as a young adult, I was never like that.
I guess, yeah. And I think it's like, what I think is valuable is meeting people who are the same, because you can. It's really strange, but when I meet a person, I can like instantly tell if they're kind of the same in that way or not. And this is also like really interesting in terms of collaborating with people. It's always so much fun when you just give up your life for something for a certain amount of time. Like, I
Together
love
with
that.
somebody else.
Yeah. And I kind of, this is also, that might sound weird, but this is also what I kind of expect from someone who I'm working with. Like, it's, like, I don't want to work with anyone who is like kind of like
half-assing it.
Yeah, and like, oh, I don't know, blah blah blah.
Totally.
I just love when you're really passionate about it, and just, I don't know, it's like it's the feeling, I cannot even describe that, but it's like it's giving me so much. I don't know what it is.
Hell yeah. No, that's the energy, that's like the inspiration train or whatever, like, it's like love and passion, they're all kind of like intertwined in some way of like that feeling, and yeah, it could be like romantic, but it could also be like goal oriented, you know, like so many people in my life that I love very strongly, very passionately, but it's not like romantic. Do you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But it's like,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
you
like
find those.
quantum.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
call this
fuck yeah.
quantum. Yeah,
Quantum.
right? You know it.
Totally.
It's
Yeah, you meet
yeah.
you meet people that it's like a entanglement of some sort, right? From like past lives or like different dimensions, or like oh, we could go deep into this topic for sure. Um, uh, but it's too esoteric for this part of the conversation. We'll
Yeah, I
get there. We'll
know. I
get there.
know.
Now, just wait a second. We'll get there. Okay, we'll get to our quantum conversation. Um, so,
Great.
so through this challenge, through kind of like wanting to excel, or maybe you want to push yourself in some way, we get into like visuals and touch designer, and you've been doing so much stuff with MediaPipe. So you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but yeah, how do you find touch designer, like in a more deeper level, and maybe give us some kind of like, not tips and tricks, but maybe like if I'm getting into this world and I find touch designer, what would you recommend for me?
Um, I mean, I I heard the first time I've heard about touch designer was at uni,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend telling me that there will be a touch designer course in
Mm-hmm.
January or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, what, this touch designer? And then he would show me stuff, blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah, and I would be like, whoa, this is so cool. I have no idea what it is, but it's so cool. Um, and then I would download it, and then I think everything starts with research. I mean, Touch
Mm.
Designer, it has a big community. There's so much
Mm.
going on, like all of the tutorials on YouTube, you have, and like on the platform, like people who you can ask stuff and they will reply to
Totally.
you and everything. So, um, I mean, yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I had this course then, this Touch Designer course in January.
Mm-hmm.
It
In
was
school,
really, yeah.
who is your
We did
teacher?
like who,
Mm-hmm.
um, who my teacher is,
Yeah,
or who teach touch
the
designer.
lecturer. Yeah, the lecturer, or like
Oh,
the professor.
that's straight. Like my professor, like her name is Nina,
Mm-hmm.
and I do a lot of projects with her.
Okay.
She's in the department of image and motion,
Mm-hmm.
and um, she would invite this guy who is studying code and context. It's
Mm.
another like study thing in Cologne, and
Okay.
he's just a student, and he knows a lot about touch designer, and he would just set up a patch, and we
Mm-hmm.
just would just implement stuff in there because
Huh.
um, it was not like learning touch, like that there's someone in front of you and be like, now you do this and then
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like also like a big conceptual thing, and it was about
Mm.
storytelling, and it was about creating an audio-visual live performance
Mm.
within 2 weeks and without knowing touch designer.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, this is kind of how I got into it, and after that, I was like, that this cannot be it. I mean, I'm now like I've seen a little bit of touch designer, but I still don't know what is going on there.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right. Right.
so that's why I was like, I have to figure out what that is. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you just follow along YouTube videos and you're really
Mm-hmm.
new to it, you don't really know what you're doing or what like these boxes mean that and what you connect there, you just do it um, without knowing what it is. And I just wanted to get kind of a feeling because I have like visions in my head, like and
Mm-hmm.
like really specific pictures,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like my aim is to be able to create them in Touch Designer, you know. I'm not yet at that point, but yeah, I just took my time to like slowly understand it better. Um, and I think to people who are new to it, I feel like I get so many comments on what is this, and blah blah blah. But if you would just read my caption, I'm telling you it's touch designer
Yeah.
and I do this and it's a plugin, it's media pipe, blah blah blah. I feel like people they always want to know and they always want to do stuff, but they're too lazy to get there,
Of
you
course. Of
know?
course. Of course.
And it's
That's
like,
why that's why I'm so interested and inspired by you because, you could easily be that. It's like I think that's normal. It's not normal to go down the rabbit hole and be like focused on trying to figure something out. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, that's true. I mean, I am that way in many, like when it comes to other things.
For sure, I can imagine. I can imagine. Same. Um, so interesting. So was there? Can you put your finger on, like, what about Touch Designer really turned you on to it? Was it the open-endedness, the nodes, the environment, like the media
I think
aspect?
I think first off that it's like loop based. That was something really new
Mm,
to me, and that it's like
interesting.
something in real time and
Right.
not, you know,
You're
because
not
I'm only
waiting.
used to a timeline.
Right.
I'm used to this, and I mean, it was kind of hard also to get this, like to think, because I feel like it's a really specific way of thinking.
Mm,
Also, when it comes to like modular synthesizers, you know, it's not like Ableton that you just put things like in a timeline next to each other. Um, but it's more like it's there. It's like in real time, and this is something that I really that's so new to me because I never thought about that before.
mm,
Like in general, like everything that's performative and everything that comes with it, like that you are nervous and like how you are in space in front of someone, you know, and it's not just okay, play, and then it will show what you've done.
right.
It's
Right.
more
Right. Right.
like
Right. It's
really,
alive.
you know, yeah, yeah, it's alive.
Mm, interesting.
Um,
Yeah, I guess like there is that beauty in Touch Designer of, um, or I guess it's like kind of generative art in general is kind of has that feeling. I had this really awesome guest on, Erica Anderson. I'm like obsessed with her, and she does like all of her, um, she does all of her like animations in After Effects, right? And she's like an OG After Effects, like 10, almost 15 years like After Effects. She does every days for like 10 years. Every day she'll post like a thing, and in her set she kind of like go check out the episode, of course, not right now because we're talking to Nell, but after. But in her set, um, she was like using After Effects the same way that we use Touch Designer, like, stacking different effects to get like taking a noise and stacking effects on it and blurring it and doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. But then it's like at one point she's like, okay, well now we have to press play and wait, and it was like, it's like, but
mhm.
but but I guess what I'm trying to say with this is like the generative aspect of things I think is really powerful, where it's like you take math or simulations or generation or generative kind of algorithms and make art from it, and like the way that you make the art from that thing is so vast. There's so many different ways to do it. After Effects, Touch Designer, VVV, fucking, even Blender can do generative art. Unreal can do generative art. Like, but each person is going to have like a different interface with that thing. It's like the generative art is like the Pokemon or whatever, or like the Tamagotchi. I don't know. Do you know what a Tamagotchi is?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, of course you do. You're cool. So like, you take it's like the Tamagotchi, and then like how you nourish it or how you like, whatever, train the Pokemon. It's such a bad allegory, but the way that you do it is like, personal. But it's like, yeah. So it's cool that you found Touch Designer, in that kind of mind space. When you say looping aspect of it, do you mean like the way that the nodes interconnect, or like you mean like literally like the feedback effect?
I mean, like, I mean, um, this is really on this 2 week project that I had, because we had to take a movie, like
Mm-hmm.
an existing movie, and then we had to split it into its audio and visual assets, and then we had to like like we had to tell a new story out of the
Mm.
snippets. And
Cool.
with loop based, because we were like mapping visuals onto like a MIDI,
Mm-hmm.
and then you cannot really 100%ly like time things, and you have to kind of, that's what I mean in terms of loop, because it's not
Mm.
just, okay, I played this and then I played
Right.
this and then I played
Right.
this. It kind
Timeline.
of has to be flexible. And
Mm.
um yeah, that was really hard for me to get, but I
Mm.
now it's okay. Now I'm now I get it.
It's almost like the thin line between like a performance and an exploration. Like those things are so close to each other, right? Like you standing in front of your camera and playing with things to get them to sound like something is like an exploration, right? But it's also in some way a performance because you're recording it and you're like, showing people it. And like
Hmm.
those two things are like very close to each other, but also could be very different. But they're really different than um like rendering something or making a time coded thing. Like in the moment that you're making the render, there is an aspect of performance and exploration and playing, but then once it's
Hmm.
done, right, you can perform with that time coded thing. You're going to perform and you're going to make it a performance, but it's like the exploration is kind of done. It's locked in. Does that make sense? Like
Hmm.
there's like a,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you can explore and perform at the same time, but you can also just explore and then perform later. Maybe is like the way to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. um yeah. Sorry, I'm just, sometimes I'm like, it's funny because sometimes I've never been on a podcast, and sometimes when you talk, I spend so much, like my thoughts are like, okay, you need to follow, you need to follow, you need to reply, and then I forget what you're like. Then I kind of,
Oh no. I love it. I love it. I'm
yeah.
I'm enjoying this very much. And we're gonna get to your set soon, which is gonna be super interesting. I just wanted to kind of just harper on this topic for just a little bit more, like the idea of touch designer and node based things. When you kind of discovered touch designer, or when you're now in your discovery of real time interactive generative visuals, um, are you overwhelmed? Is there a feeling of like, oh, this is so endless? Like yeah, you're obviously focusing on the media pipe interaction of it, which I think is really smart. But yeah, like do you have any kind of um like you said, like what you're trying to do is be able to like have something in your mind, like all these visions that you have, and be able to actuate them inside of a software. And Touch Designer, by the way, is the best place for this. But is there like a feeling of like there's too much? You know what I mean? Like, is there like a feeling of like there's too many things to explore? Like, how do you focus yourself? How do you focus your attention into one thing?
I write it down because I'm really like, because it is overwhelming,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Like, and you get so many impressions and you see
Mm-hmm.
so much stuff that people do, and you kind of want to do all of it at the same time. But
Mm-hmm.
what I do is I wake up and I write one thing down that I want to do, and then I will do it, and then that's it. And
Hell
then
yeah.
I feel like it just takes time. That's really, I remember like after the project that I had, I instantly wanted to do this thing with combining Touch Designer and VCV Rec. And there are tutorials on that, how to do this. And then I kind of started it, blah blah blah. I connected things and everything, and it kind of worked, but also it didn't work, and I didn't know how to change stuff, and like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the reasons why things are not working out. Like, I couldn't tell you. And it's funny because like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I sat down again and I did it again, and everything made so much sense. Like I didn't even have to watch a tutorial because I knew how it's working. And I feel
Hell
like
yeah.
it's really a matter of time, and like you have to digest it,
Mm.
and don't rush.
Don't
I
rush.
have
That's a good
to.
one. I love that you wake up in the morning and write something down. Is it like almost like you're pulling from dream space, or is it like first thing that pops into your head kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times I also write, like, I usually write at night. I mean, that's like, I don't, like, I don't write it in the morning. I will write it at night and then I will do
Mm.
it the next day. And
Mm.
I feel like this is doing something to me because I can mentally, how do you say?
Like let it
Um,
sit, or let it fester in some way.
yeah.
Like prepare
Um,
yourself or something.
yeah, exactly. And no, this is helping me. This is also something I've learned really recently that writing things down is so great. It's the greatest thing you can do but I'm the thing is I'm a really lazy person. Like
Mm.
sometimes I'm too lazy to write it down, but I figured out this new thing. Like I will show you.
Yeah,
When
show me.
I have my phone and I tap 3 times on the back,
Okay.
like one, two, three. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
It
Then
opens your
then
notes.
this not my notes, but like to record audios.
Oh,
And this
oh,
is my new thing
smart.
to do. I just talk
Record
to
an audio note.
myself.
Smart. That's smart.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that's how memory works, right? Like if you talk to yourself, you're gonna remember it a lot better. You don't even have to like go back and like listen to it because you're the act of talk. It's like the same as writing down. Like when you write down something, it gets imprinted into your memory in a different way. Um,
Yeah.
I love that. iPhones. I didn't know iPhones could do that tap thing. That's pretty cool.
Me neither. I figured that out like last week, and it's
I
like,
love it.
whoa, so
That's
great.
so cool.
But it's not always
Awesome.
working.
Yeah, but that's how technology is in general. So awesome. I really I'm super excited to see what you have ready for us here in the set portion. Nele is gonna show us into her awesome world of audio visual. Let's take it away.
Yeah. This is literally my last post that I've made on Instagram, and it's one of yeah, as I've said, it's one of my first times combining VCV Rack with Touch Designer.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I will. Okay, wait. How do I start this? So I simply built this VCV patch,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just like messed around with it. Like this is what it sounds like, kind of. It's just yeah, whatever. It's just some sound, and then I would um build this patch in Touch Designer
Mm-hmm.
and just like with the hand tracking trigger. Wait, how do I show this? Like, I think maybe like this.
Nice.
Like it lets me control like the frequency and the octave of some
That's cool.
sounds.
Nice.
Um, wait, maybe I will just show you. This is not working. Why is this not working? Ah, I know why. Hmm. Again. Oh yeah.
Nice. It's so fun.
Yeah. Um, I don't even know. Like, I'm showing this because I'm so, yeah, because as I've said, like, this always used to be something so, like, it almost, I feel like a wizard when would do this. Or, like, also when I first saw this, um, I was like, what is this? And,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. It's really fun to play around with it. And, I I mean, it's funny because you can trigger everything. And like, I really like this idea of like sending and receiving signals.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of what I'm exploring right now. Um, yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You want to tell us a little bit about how they're connected? Like, maybe give us just like a brief overlook of media pipe, and then maybe a brief overview of how you're sending data back and forth. And then I want to see your VCV. Like, I mean, super cool. We haven't had a lot of that on the show, so I think it would be really interesting to see.
hmm So basically, I mean, so this is MediaPipe, and then I decided to track the hands, but not all. Like basically, it's measuring the pinch distance of this hand, like my index and thumb, and also of this one.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, like I kind of, here, this is where you can see it. This is the distance and this distance.
Nice.
And then I use this, like for the connection, I use this OSC. I have no idea what that means. Do you
Open
know
sound
that?
control. It's a protocol.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, OSC is the
Um,
best way to connect things back and forth.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so basically this is the signal that is going into
The
VCV rack.
Mm-hmm.
And like in terms of the interface, this is something I did with a tutorial by Torrin Blankensmith. Like he
Shout out.
made a tutorial on how to
Draw
make
it.
these lines and how to, but I added, like I feel like I like that it's a square. Somehow
Totally.
it's kind of funny. However, yeah, this is kind of it. And then we have this signal, or like this value, and then the other one, and then this is going here into this OSC box thingy.
Gotcha. So it's OSC in kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get the value, and I would just connect the value. I mean, in this case, it's controlling the frequency of this box here. And the other one, what is this? Octave? You say that?
Yeah, octave.
Octave connector.
Nice.
Octave. But here also shoutouts, like in terms of VCV rack, I don't know, like I actually don't know the name of this person, but there's this one guy on YouTube who I feel like is one of the only people who is really building patches from scratch.
Interesting.
Because that was, like I honestly have to say, like I don't exactly know what all of these boxes do.
Right.
It's
but it's like,
really
I mean, it's very difficult to know because it's like a rack, it's like this in physical space would be like thousands and thousands of dollars. So it's like, you're just accessing it in a digital form. But you must know, like, more or less, like, what connects to things, right? Like what's happening.
I mean, in touch design, like in this touch designer patch, definitely, but in VCV, it's
tough. It's like more complicated.
Yeah, definitely. Like I had a time where I would go to the music store like for like a month almost every day, and I would use their modular synthesizer
just to
because
figure
they
it
have
out.
like a big one. Yeah, just to figure it out and just to test it. But
Smart.
yeah, honestly, it's like this is like VCV rack. This is so new. Like I cannot, like I don't speak music language.
Totally. I understand. But you're simplifying it by just bringing in those two values from OSC. By the way, just a small thing in Touch Designer. You can actually, if you zoom into those chops over there, you can actually merge those two channels into one and then send it as one OSC instead of two OSCs. Does that make sense? Like if you drop
Oh,
a merge
like
chop,
here,
yeah,
like
like in
after that.
between, yeah, like you can put those two maths into one chop, like a merge. Yeah, exactly. And then
Oh, doop, 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 doop.
yeah, you can drag the math 1 and math 2 into it, exactly. And now you have two individual channels, and then you could just send that to one OSC. Instead of having two OSC outs, you could just do one OSC out.
Oh shit, that's a good. Um.
Yeah. I don't know what
Whoa,
you
thanks.
of course, in
Yeah.
VCV you might have to declare the different port and stuff, but should be good.
So, yeah. Um. No, yeah, that's easy. Yeah, it's I I'm really I still, I feel like I've learned a lot within the last half year, but
I'm sure.
still also, what is a null? This is like,
Such a good
how would
question.
you describe a null? What is
A
it?
null is like a placeholder. So imagine if you're what's a good example for a null? Like imagine if you're connecting like I'm trying to think of like a good analogy for it, but there really isn't so many. Oh, a good analogy would be like when you're cooking, instead of putting all of the stuff that you're cooking, like if you're cooking like like let's say a bolognese, okay, and
Mm,
or you're German, so let's say you're cooking like sauerkraut or something. I don't know, that's stupid.
okay.
You're cooking borscht, that's Hungarian. Anyway, you're cooking something, and you put some ingredients. Instead of putting all the ingredients into the pot, you put a little bit of ingredients into this bowl, you put a little ingredients into this bowl. They're all going into the pot, but you kind of like are stopping them at some places. Does that make sense? And then that allows you to like decide, okay, hey, my dry stuff, I actually want to add a little bit more stuff into the dry stuff before I put it into the main pot. And if you didn't have that
Mm-hmm.
bowl, you'd be stuck with everything in the main pot, and then you'd be having to add the thing into the main pot, which maybe you don't want to do. So that brilliant analogy it translates to nulls, which if you drop a null, so if you have a network where it's like, okay, I have a, or I could just show you actually. Maybe I could just show you here. So if I have
Yeah.
if I have like a null over here, let's say I have like a simple chain of like whatever, a noise and let's say a math and let's say a, I don't know, an audio spectrum. I guess it doesn't really work with that, but maybe like just I don't know, like a filter of some sort. Okay, and then this is going into a bigger system. So maybe this is going into a merge, like I showed you before, that merge, right? And now I have like a bunch of other things going into that merge. So now if I if I want to alter like something along here, like in this line or in this line, I have to like add it, right? So I can add it here, and I can add in like whatever, like another noise, let's say. Now, what happens is that I'm kind of adding things into my chain, but I'm not being able to like keep them contained, if that makes any sense. If I have a null here at the end, then I know that this null is my chain A, let's say, right? And then if I want to change anything to my chain A, I could just change it here. You know what I mean? Like I can remove this, I can remove this, and my connection to my merge is still there. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
kind of like a placeholder. I don't know if that was like a really good explanation. Maybe that was like a more
Oh no,
confusing explanation.
definitely.
But it's
No,
kind of like a
thank you so.
placeholder. You're holding place so that if you want to delete anything before the null or add anything after the null, you can kind of add it in between. And your null is kind of like a placeholder. It's almost like like a reference. So
Yeah. Thank you so much for
of
that.
course,
That
of
was
course,
a
of
real.
course.
No, but like, um, I'm not yet at this point where I intuitively am know how to do that stuff or how. I feel like if I would show my patches to someone who is like really into touch designer, there would be so much wrong, or so much that you would do differently because
Totally.
sometimes like it's lagging and stuff, and I have no idea how to
To fix
fix
the
that.
performance. Yeah, I mean that's, to be honest, like, that's something that I think we all struggle with, kind of, and it's like, if I showed my patches to, I don't know, like, to Torin, let's say, he'd probably be like, change this, change this, change this. And we're kind of like always learning new things. You know, I think that it's like, there's two things in the real time world that are hard to kind of understand. One is optimization. And that's true for like anything to do with computers. Like, learning how to optimize is like a whole skill and a whole like a whole world in itself. And then like workflows. And I think workflows is very personal. It's subjective. Like
Hmm.
optimizing is not really subjective. There's like a way to do it. Every program has, every language, every program, every environment is gonna be like, this is how you optimize. This is what you need to do. And then when it comes to like workflows of like how you like to organize, do you like to keep things like this or like that, or this, that, that's very personal. And that's like experience that just comes with time, really. So, the more you kind of like learn and get better at it, the more you'll realize, okay, this is what I want to do and this is how I want to do it. Um, yeah, don't be discouraged by that, I guess, is kind of like, that's what I would say by that. It's like something that I'm learning new things at Touch Designer every day. And then I reached points like recently in my job, like with Magic Box, I reached a point where I was like, okay, I cannot solve this problem. I'm gonna now use support. I'm gonna talk to Touch Designer and get support from them because I'm like so stuck. Um, and yeah, that's just kind of how it is. And by the way, it's funny enough, the moment that I reached out to Touch Designer to ask for help was when I realized that the problem was actually the computer, and I moved to a different computer, and the problem went away. It was like,
Oh
okay, I'm just
no.
like going in circles here. Um, yeah,
Have you
well,
tried the new pops yet?
I have played with it. I have played with it a little bit, not to the level that like I'm comfortable with it, but it's super powerful. Like especially if you're doing anything with with 3D, or anything with like geometry, I would highly recommend it. Um, I'd love to kind of see a little bit more of your process. I know it's like maybe like difficult because like it's new to you, but even something that's like you know um like before you get into Touch Designer, like when you're coming up with an idea or even like a class or like a task in school, like I'd love to see like your process because you have a very interesting brain.
Okay, this is my notebook. It's my current one. I've been having it for probably 1 month, and it's kind of full already. This is where I collect all of my thoughts.
Hell
And
yeah.
like, if we like the patch I just showed you, like before I did it, like I don't sit down and then I just start somehow. Like
Mm.
before that, I will think about it and I will write some stuff down. And for this patch, it was, wait, I called it um and touches and it was like, this is kind of like how I would plan
Ein
what I'm
Patch
gonna
de Veuve,
do.
wenn was aussi, ah.
Ein touch, yeah, it's like a touch designer patch to VCV via
Nice.
OSC.
Via OSC.
Um,
Interesting.
and
So you're really plotting it
like,
out.
yeah, yeah. I really like to do it. I feel like I do it that way because like I do it because of my physics class in
Mm.
school. Like I like to do it that way because I'm like, okay, what do I want? Like it's like what am I looking for?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a touch designer patch that's connected to VCV Rack. And then what do I need for that? I need first a touch designer patch, and that is like, and I wanted to do it with media pipe, so I would write it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I need some certain parameters, like, or like signals, and in this
Mm-hmm.
case I chose the pinch distance between both of my
Mm-hmm.
hands, or my fingers. And then the second thing I needed was a VCV patch,
Mm-hmm.
with like module, or like with like something I can trigger. So I
Mm-hmm.
would like test that out. I would just pull up and down everything you can pull or turn or
Mm.
twist, to see how it shapes the sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would just like, I would, this is here, like this down there. This is when I figured that out, like what I want to trigger maybe. And then the third thing is to combine this, like to put the OSC in and to connect it with each other. And yeah, um this is kind of how I do it. And
It's so
I
cool.
mean, I also have something in the making now, and this is the first time actually trying to, like, I try to
Ooh, wow,
like
look
to
at that.
draw a patch kind of.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
No, it totally does.
Um,
I find this very interesting. So you're drawing the patch, like I guess it's like easier like to just draw the patch instead of having to like sit on the computer and try and like um figure it out like on a node graph. Because like here you're conceptually like, abstract, like I know I want to do this and this, but maybe when I get to the nodes that doesn't connect and I have to go somewhere else and figure it out. This is like so smart because you're kind of like flowing. You're right, you're in that flow of like, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. I love that. It's so cool, dude. Super
yeah,
cool.
you don't do that. You never do. How do you do it? Do you just go into touch design and you start? Or?
Fuck. I mean, it depends. Like if I'm plotting out like a system, like I have a system, I'll write it down. I'll make myself notes. I started using Notion. It's like a pretty cool.
Oh,
I've been starting to use Notion a lot, which I find it very very helpful. I use Figma a lot for if I need to draw
mhm.
things. So like for signal flows, if it's like very intricate. But I used to write a lot in a notebook, and then I moved to my phone. I'll write like very like weird like notes to myself if I have an idea. Um, but honestly, I'm much more hands-on. Like if I spend time like if I spent time like that writing a whole node graph, like drawing a whole node graph, it's possible that I won't even actually do it because my brain is like, oh, I did it. Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
have to actually be like doing the thing to feel like to not trick my mind into thinking that I did the thing. If that makes any
but what if
sense.
what if you cannot do it at the moment you are having this thought?
Then I
Aren't you
will
scared of forgetting?
totally if I
Yeah.
start making something by the way, I have hundreds of unfinished projects. Like no joke, like
Yeah.
hundreds. And through the years I've lost them and sometimes, so there's two things that I find really useful for myself. One is like if I reach a point where like the flow is not happening and I'm like, I have this idea, I started it and like I'm flowing and getting, and then I reach a point where it's like, I don't know how to do that thing, or I can't do that thing, or it doesn't look good or whatever, I'll stop. I'll put myself like a comment. I'll write like a little comment in the patch of like,
Mhm.
was trying to do this, was trying to do this, was trying to do this, couldn't do this, couldn't do this, done. And see you later. If it's like a big project that I'm working on, I'll come back to it, right? But if it's something that I was just kind of like flowing with and it was like an idea, I probably won't come back to it. You know what I mean? Like I'll probably just like that knowledge is now in my brain and either good or bad, And yeah, it's interesting that you ask that. It's interesting that you ask that. I think it's like if I'm trying to make something, like if I have an idea for like an art piece, I'll just go with it. And then like I had this Unreal scene that I've been working on for a little bit. That's like this idea that came up to me in therapy that I really wanted to like visualize.
Mhm.
Classic, 21st century issues. Um, And like I started visualizing it, you know, it was like this model that I found of this person with a heart and it's opening and all these kind of things. And then I start staging it in Unreal, and I start staging it, and I start getting the lighting and the materials. And then I reached a point where it's like the thing that I wanted to model, I didn't know how to do it. So I had to like take a break and figure out how to model it. And then, and now like, you know, whatever, life like kicked me in the nuts. So it's like, okay, I don't have time to do any personal projects. But it's like, that's kind of my process. It's like, okay, I'll start, you know, I'll start like with the basics. And then either I'll reach a point where it's like I don't know what to do, or I'll reach a point where it's like I'm not inspired. You know, it's kind of like almost the same thing where it's like I need to learn something, so I need to re-inspire myself, and then I'll come back to it. Yeah, it's a good question. You know, I think it's very personal. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah, but what I'm thinking right now is that this, like doing this, can sometimes to me be like escaping
the doing.
from doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
probably, yeah, because sometimes you really just need to do it.
Dude,
And
there's this research paper. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like a psychological one where they did like this study where it's like if you, I think it was like with entrepreneurs, where it's like if you do pitching all day, like if you're pitching to investors all day, you're in your brain, like you're giving yourself a tick that you did the thing. So like if I talk to you about like if I have this like brilliant new idea and I'm like talking to you about then the actual like mechanism of like how our minds work of like trying to do things like actions and like finishing things is like the dopamine or whatever. It's not dopamine, but there's a chemical, right, that like that triggers when that happens. You're actually triggering it by talking about the thing. So, you know, you might actually, the more you talk about, there's these people that don't talk about ideas that they have because they're scared if they talk about the idea that they have, then they'll never do the thing because their mind has like given them the okay that they've done it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah, I do. I'm currently in New York, and I met someone, like my house has a roof, and I would just meet a
Hell yeah.
stranger on there.
So cool.
And we became friends, and he's an actor and a performer, and he would tell me about this, which is called
Space
the
shape.
6 viewpoints, and it's about like how like these are just 6
I love it.
aspects that like
Space shape,
are
time,
like
movement,
important.
story, architecture.
Yeah,
So cool.
when you perform,
Yeah.
like it's, you know, and
Makes
then I
sense.
would tell him what I do and stuff like that, and I was so inspired by him telling me that, so I would write that down.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, maybe we should collaborate. Maybe we should like I was really I wanna track him with MediaPipe, like his full
Smart.
body, and like
Yep.
we were like thinking about just doing something. We haven't done it yet, but it feels like also my brain is tricking me that
Talking.
we have done it already. Like I feel like it's already there,
Interesting.
even though we just talked about that. So it's
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's a catch-22 because if you don't write things down or you don't talk about your ideas, they might not happen either. You know, for me, I have to be honest and say that like there has been many times that like I'll like have a really big plan of something, and the moment I go to like a meetup or like a, you know, like whatever, like a mingling or something, and I'm like talking about the idea, like a new concept or a new business, like that really does kind of like kill it in a way. You know what I mean? Like that's been I can think of so many ideas that I've had that like because I've talked about them so much, and because I've been like so like, oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely doing this. Like this is something that I'm doing. Then it's like I never do it because it's like, yeah, you kind of like make that trick, you know.
yeah.
It could be a
This
filter
is how
though.
I feel.
It could be a
This is how
filter
I
of
feel.
like.
Oh, sorry.
No. I'm saying it could be a filter maybe of like, if you have like, how do I, you know, like if you have this really good idea and you talk about it with somebody and they're like, yeah, good idea, but then it never happens, maybe it wasn't a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that
Maybe it's
yeah,
a filter.
probably there's something about that. Yeah. Oh gosh.
Like if it's a
Um,
really good idea, then somebody's gonna give you money, or like you're gonna do it or something. Like I don't know.
mhm.
Maybe there's like some sort of correlation there. Um, well, I mean, no, thank you so much for showing us into the world of your, into your notebook and into your, what you're doing and what you're working on. It's very interesting. So yeah, thanks again for showing us all that. I'd love to. You mentioned that I have a few things I want to talk to you about. Honestly, like some interesting topics, but there was one thing that you mentioned earlier that I really want to understand from you, what it means. You said design research, something that you're interested in, or something that you're kind of like thinking about. What do you mean by that?
Mm, it's that's a hard question. Um,
Yes,
but I mean,
I
I can
gotcha.
I can put it onto that project that I've told you about earlier, like where this instrument that I did,
Mm-hmm.
like, or this system that I built.
Mm-hmm.
This is a design research project, I would say. Um, so it's like, or like a practice-based design research project,
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
This is kind of what I do, that you are not real, like it's not researching only theoretically, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also that you learn new stuff by doing things.
Mm-hmm.
So, like for example, when I had this project, I would be like, my question I would ask myself would be, how can handwriting be perceived more consciously? Because
Okay.
like this is where I started. It was like, okay, you write stuff down every day and you are not
Mm-hmm.
really aware of the act. It's just to
Mm.
capture content. And then to me it was, okay, how do you become more aware of that? And and then you go into that research phase, and then then you would just try to find a lot of things like on the internet with people who are already doing something like this, and then you kind of collect all of this, and then you just try to use this in order to create your own,
Hmm.
you know
Interesting.
and um yeah, but honestly, it's a really hard question. Like, I
Is
wish
it a
there's some questions I wish I had like a really clear and short answer to, like it's but I
for
don't
sure?
I don't
Is there a clear is that like a clear topic, or a clear like is it something in school they're study, like you study or something like this? Like when I heard,
Yeah.
yeah, there is
Oh, what? You can continue when
like
you.
design research. Like is it like a course that you're doing or something like this?
I mean, I think design research is like its own field
Okay.
almost. Like, there are people who are like design researchers.
Yeah.
Um, but this is really important practice based. So I'm
Right.
not, like, you can be a design researcher,
Researcher.
and you write books, but you never do
The
something.
actual.
You never do. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
theoretically.
Yeah.
And like, to me, like the practical part is so important. Like, and
Of
I feel like there are many
course.
people who discuss, like, like in my school there are many discussions about that, actually, like, um if practice-based design research, like, there are a
Mm.
lot of people who are a little bit like not against it, but who be like, that doesn't make any sense.
Mm.
But I
Mm.
believe in it.
Totally. I mean,
I mean,
no, please.
I mean, that's what I've learned, like, about, like, I didn't know anything about modular synthesizers, but basically through my practice I kind of understood how a modular synthesizer works without even aiming that,
Right.
like,
Right.
just
Right.
by
Right.
really doing stuff. And yeah, I just really, yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. I guess it's like research and development. It's kind of like R&D, like kind of falls into it in some way. Where it's like that's a whole like you said, it's like a whole industry or a whole modality. But it it ties into that question of like education. There's that stupid saying of those who can't do teach, which I hate that saying. I think it's a stupid saying, but I think that there is something to that. It's like if all you've ever done is teach people, then you might not be such a great teacher because you don't have that experience, right? Like where those things interact are like really powerful. So with design, it could be the same. With design research, it could be very similar, where it's like, what is your experience in this kind of field, and is your experience just the field itself, or do you have experience, in the global sense of the thing? But yeah, I don't know. You said it, and it was like, wow, that sounds like a really cool topic. Design research, like what does that even mean? Like, are you just like going all day and trying out new different toys, and then at some point you're like, these toys work really well together? Like.
I mean, to me, I feel like this is really what makes like
what makes
what makes a good designer, like a person
totally
who's observing, like
100%.
Yeah, but no, yeah.
Yeah, it's like what is an artist if not a design researcher? You know what I mean? Like, what is it if not that? Yeah.
No. Sometimes I just play because this is funny, because you also said you couldn't find anything out about me. Like you couldn't really, and sometimes I'm so tempted to put something into my Instagram bio, like to label me.
Yeah.
But like, what do I do? I mean, this is such a hard question. Like, how would you label that?
That's you're gonna one day have a website, and you're gonna have to do the about page, and you're gonna have a lot of thoughts about that. Trust me. It's one of those things that we all go through when you make a website. It's like, fuck, I have to like explain myself in a few paragraphs. Like, what do I even put here? I mean, for my website, I just put like some stuff about my name, like Rem, like it's stuff that I relate to, but it's also like, it's a weird thing. It's like writing a resume. Have you ever written a resume before?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, what am I selling here? I'm selling myself. Like, what am I, like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
It's such a weird
No, I
feeling.
get that. I'm currently working on my portfolio website, and it's like
Nice.
the worst thing I've ever done. It's for real. I've been
It's
fighting
tough.
with it for a couple of months, and it's really like you're really questioning your identity.
100%.
You're doing this, like, who are you?
I would say to you, because you have, and I know this is like kind of maybe like a little bit vain, but you have so many followers and you have so many views, you don't really need a website. Like, I don't want to tell you not to make a website. Like, you should have one. It's like more professional, like like it's more like, oh, you're like a legit thing. But like, if you go to get hired for something today, in today's world, people only care about your social media. Like, that's unfortunately the situation that we're in. Like, I'd say,
Yeah.
like, if the opposite was true, like that you're like this super experienced and well-established artist, maybe you don't need a social media. And like, if I'm gonna hire you, I'm gonna look at your website and say, okay, you did this and this and this and this and this and this and this. But it's like, if you're like on my level, having a social media with a lot of followers is very valuable. If I wish I had more, not wish, because like whatever, like it's not my focus, but like if I had 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 people on Instagram, I probably would be getting more work in just by being me, like, I don't know. It's a weird thing, because maybe you want to like legitimize yourself outside of social media, and like, I'm an
Yeah.
artist, I'm this, but it's like, really, like, if you're just looking for work, your social media is what's gonna like make people be like, oh, I'm gonna hire them, I'm gonna hire her.
Yeah, that's really
It's kind
true.
of the way it is, But then again, it's good to have a portfolio. I think it does legitimize you in some ways, and maybe, if you're trying to apply for things that are like not a client or not like freelance, then
Hmm.
having a website might be cool. But yeah, I mean, don't put too much effort into it. I haven't updated my site in like 4 years. So um, yeah, I mean, it's just like a weird landscape. It's really like, what is the? Do you have like a general idea of where you want to go after school? I know it's early, but like, do you have like a kind of like a trajectory of some sort?
No, not
No.
really. I mean, I want to be a. I'm doing my bachelor's right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm definitely gonna do my master's. I would
Nice.
also love to be a doctor, like just for the because it's funny to have like a doctor
A
title.
doctor of art.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? Like,
Super cool. Super cool. I
but I
wish.
don't.
No, you totally
Um,
should, especially if you're on like a fast track of some sort. You should totally do that.
no. Yeah, yeah, but honestly, like seriously, I don't know what I will be in the future. We will see. I feel like I'm right now, like this is something that always stressed me out, that I would have to know what I want to be. I don't have to know. Like I'm
Definitely not.
currently in this state where like as we've talked about earlier, like it's just flowing and I feel like everything is happening so naturally to me, like the people I meet, like collaborations and stuff, like it's right now there's a it's crazy and it just feels right, so I will stick to it. Even though it's sometimes hard if you are like I don't know, But sometimes it's good not to know. I feel like this is like the essence, not knowing. This is so
Yeah,
great.
the unknown is exciting, or can be at least. Um, Speaking about kind of that, push button generation. This is like a creative agency that's in your bio as a management. What is that? Like, what is it? What does it entail? What is like go into as much detail as you want. I love like details and numbers, but like whatever you want to share with us about that. Yeah.
So Push Button Generation, yeah, they are my agency, and they reached out to me when I had TikTok. So I signed up with them, and they're basically giving me like they would give me like jobs, like influencer jobs, like
Right.
working with
Brand.
brands or like getting clothes and wearing them and making videos, blah blah blah. I have to say I don't like because I am not like this anymore.
Right.
I do not have like I don't have jobs every week or like constantly. I have a couple of jobs, and that's why I'm still in their agency because it's for they pay good, like companies they pay really well, and
They do, huh?
you you sometimes you need money, and this is
Sometimes. What do you
like
mean?
no, yeah, and this is kind of it, but it's like really like they like when you go onto their website they will say that I'm an artist,
Mm-hmm.
but I never have like I wish I would have like more like art direction jobs or something like but this is always I always like when they get me a job it's always representing me like my out like my face and my followers, it's
What do
like
you mean
always
by that?
about
What do you mean by that?
like it's like I don't get jobs for the work I do,
For the art.
but for yeah, but
Mm.
for like for what you look like. Feel
Right.
like that's literally it. Like,
Interesting.
and there's
You
something I
wanna you
really
wanna move
hate
away from
about
that?
this. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad about these jobs, but this is not where I see myself in the future.
Mm.
Like, I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to do a cooperation with a fashion brand. I mean, if it's like a project where I, let's say, make visuals for, or where I can like
Right.
direct it or whatever, I'm
Right. Right.
so
Right.
open to it, but not anymore for this type of social media stuff.
I really respect
Um,
that. I think that's really cool. Um, and it goes to show a little bit about you. Like you're not vain, and You know, even though you could easily just do all this brand stuff and just, you know, sell yourself or whatever, you choose not to. I think that's really big of you, and also I think that it's smart because you're obviously like an interesting, talented influencer, right? But what you have to influence is not you or face or whatever. It's your art and your expression, which is like 10 years from now, you know, having that instead of like having a bazillion followers and whatever is way more
Yeah.
valuable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It also, I feel like it doesn't like, I mean, I could push my being as an influencer. I
Like a
could I could
lifestyle or
have
whatever.
TikTok. I could still make these videos, and I think it would work really well. But I don't I just like it's first off, I feel like this is not something for the future. Like
Yes.
it's for now, and it can
Right.
be good,
Yeah.
but it will be over soon.
Totally.
And it's also like there's no fun about this. There's
Mm.
nothing like it's kind of,
Meaningless,
to me,
maybe?
honestly, it's kind of embarrassing.
Really?
That's like I'm not shaming
Interesting.
anyone who is doing that, but I'm just like, this is not, I don't know, I just don't.
This substance is weird, right? It's like if you're like
Yeah.
like if you're a lifestyle influencer, okay, at least there's something there, but it's like again, the authenticity is fucked. So it's like I don't really believe in you. So it's weird. And then if you're like just like an influencer just to influence, then it's like what is the substance, you know? But
Hmm.
I think what's interesting is that like and that's why I kind of said you're still like an influencer is like you kind of are, right? Like but you're what you're influencing or what your influence is your expression, your creativity, your art, right? Like, you know, and I think that there's a lot of people like that now. You know, like even Torin, and he probably would probably not be happy for me to say this, but even Torin's somewhat of an influencer, right? Like the fact that he could do like a month of everydays with his plugin, and then you know after that, all of a sudden, like tons of people on Instagram and all over the web are using this plugin, which is like what the point of that was, right? Is like to showcase here's what you can do. That's that's influence. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah, of course.
but the thing is like you know yeah anyway
It's
what
just
I
not
find
the, it's just not what you, it's just not, I feel like, I mean, it's, of course, it is an influencer in a way, but it's not like this, what you imagine an influencer to be like. You know, when
yes
I hear influencer, I have one
your
specific
image
type of person in my, yeah,
for sure for
yeah.
sure there's that awesome page I think it still exists influencers in the wild have you ever seen that one it's like
No,
all
I
these
don't.
it's such a funny meme page but it's like all these like this girl like you know like this and like you see the person filming her and like they're like filming from the side and it's always like the most awkward like cringe like experience you know thing of like you know or like
Hmm.
there's all those influencers that will like cry in front of a camera and it's like dude it's not like you have to set up that camera and set up the lighting and set up the thing and it's like and then you're gonna cry in front of it's like so weird you know like
Yeah,
uh
yeah, I know. I know, I know.
it's so funny so
Um,
I have to ask you being a Jewish Israeli did you get like was it good money like what was the money like for like let's say I don't know yeah give me some like give me a little bit of taste of that like I'm just interested in that.
I'm like, I mean, of course, it depends on how many followers you have. I remember when I started, I would have jobs for like, I mean, it really depends. Like honestly, it really depends. It can be something between 500 and 10,000.
Wow, that's a big range.
Yeah, I would, yeah. I mean, and then of course it depends on the brand, but
Right.
I mean, but even 500, it's like super, that's what I have to say, it's well paid. Like
Yeah,
the amount of time you put in there is
of
literally
course.
nothing.
You're just
Like it's
posting. You're doing it anyways.
yeah, and it's like it's yeah, but it really depends. I have some like it's really, but I would say average the average is like 3 or 4 thousand for
Wow,
one.
for just a post. And in that post, do you have to like be explicit? Like, is it just enough for you to like wear the clothing, or do you have to be like, hey, check out this clothing, go and buy it? Like,
Um,
like
I'm.
in yeah,
It depends. I mean, it depends really on the brand or the company or what they want me to do. I used to make videos like on TikTok where I also did like voiceovers and it was super scripted and
right.
it was really like you have to do
They're
this, and
just
then
using
this
your
shot,
account
this
at that
angle.
point.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like my agency. I'm like I told them how I feel about that, and I'm like I know like agencies I feel like they have these really like this strict image.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? That it's super
mm,
like okay, you do this now and this
yeah,
now.
right.
But I'm really glad my agency is not that like that. I feel like they give me a lot of freedom because they
That's good.
know that I'm not like that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
and I'm also at this point like if like probably like 2 years ago I would have done every job
Whatever
that
comes.
someone offered me,
Right, right, right,
and
right.
now I don't do anything, and even if I do it, I kind of like I ethically don't feel it in a
Interesting.
way. I don't really stand behind that.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just um
No, it's like you don't feel connected to it. I totally understand that. That's what I feel like is so weird about the whole culture is that, you know, if you're like pretty explicit of like, hey, I'm selling shit to you, are you interested? Then okay, it's just like a salesperson. There's nothing wrong with that. Or even like podcasts have like ad reads, right? Like, but it's like explicit. It's like, hey, I'm rating you an ad read right now because I want to make revenue because I'm a human being, and
mhm.
this podcast is free. Like I get that. I just feel like the line blurs a lot when it's like when there's not explicitness about the thing that you're selling. And I think you can blur the lines in an ethical way, but when you don't and you blur the lines in a non-ethical way, then it becomes weird. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. But anyway, I thank you for sharing that. I find it very fascinating, and I commend you to like the only advice that I could give in this field is like um, money's great, and it's really important. And like as an artist, I think maybe, the more stability income wise, and I also don't know anything about your history, but like the more stability income wise you have, the easier it will be for you to make art. And if all you have to do is make a fucking post and you can get like a few $1,000s, you should definitely do it. Like, and you could do it
Mhm.
ethically. It's very easy to do ethically. And if they say that they don't want you to do it like ethically, then you just don't do it. Like that's or pay me $30,000 and I'll do it unethically. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do it because I feel like it's giving me opportunities in a way.
For
I'm
sure.
not super rich. Like I'm not I get like I'm not because I when I have money, I instantly spend it. Like I got like the but like on stuff that is useful. Like I would get a MIDI, I would get like I recently got like the commercial version of Touch Designer to work in unlimited
Nice.
resolution.
Hell yeah.
All of this that is like super great. Like I could get Ableton and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I
You
would
can
like
afford things for sure.
yeah, and then also like that I'm here now in New York, which to me is like the greatest place in the world in terms of like connecting with people and working on stuff. Like that would never be possible if I would
For sure.
not do this every now and then.
For sure.
Um,
For sure. For sure. Super cool.
so
Um, okay. So moving on from Instagram and influencing, when you so now you're in school and you're kind of like thinking about wanting to do like a PhD or something like that. Is that something that you really like thought like when you decided to go to school? Did you um, did you like kind of acknowledge or notice that like maybe it's not worth it. Like maybe you could just go and study it on YouTube, or maybe you can just like learn from courses or something. Like, is it? I don't know. I know like a lot about German culture, obviously, but not like about young accurate like not about current German culture as much. I mean, I guess drugs and parties and stuff I know a lot about, but but that's specific Berlin culture, I guess. But like
Yeah.
yeah, like is it like cultural for you to go to school, or was it really something that you really just wanted to like get another level of?
Um, I think it's something that's really like that my parents like planted into my head, like
The
that
importance.
it's yeah, or like that it's like uh, it's like already like we have different sorts of schools in Germany, like high schools and like no wait, this is kind of I will mess up if I start talking about this. But basically it's just this path was already there. Like I knew I will go to university and there's nothing else because
Interesting.
it's like a lot of parents have this mindset because like back
Well,
like
that's our
50
gener.
years ago
Yeah.
it was so special to study, but I
Yeah.
honestly I don't share this
Mentality.
I don't yeah I don't have that because I disagree because now everyone is going to university. It's not even that
Yeah.
special and you can have
Yeah.
like a doctor degree and it may not take you
Doesn't mean
anywhere.
anything.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. Um but it's kind of yeah, to me it is what it is. I knew I had to apply somewhere and
Yeah.
then I would just do it.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like maybe it's like less relevant to Europeans because you don't really pay for school. Like here in America, when you go to school, like you go into debt. You can go like a hundred
Yeah.
thousand dollars into debt, and then it's like, what is the point of this, right? Like, and I'm not sure. Like, I went to school. My parents paid for it. Thank you, mom and dad. But and in Israel, it's like I could have gone to free school. I went to like an art school, so it was expensive, but it wasn't like $100,000. It was like a hundred
Yeah.
thousand shekel, which is a little bit less, a lot less. But either way, like I see the value, but like yeah, I'm just always interested from like people that are young that like, do you even have this idea of like I don't need to go to school, like I could just learn it on my own? Um,
Um Honestly, no, because I mean I really appreciate that I can be there, but that's
hmm,
also something I've learned only while being there.
hmm.
Like if you would have asked me this like in my first semester, I would have answered completely different. Um,
For sure.
but I think it's like because I'm there to because I mean of course it's a university and it has this like structure and everything, but in the end I'm there like my uni system is really open and free and it's like
Hmm.
really uncommon from other
Hmm.
like things you can
Universities.
study in
That's so
Cologne.
cool.
Like it's super, you are really independent and you are like there's no one telling you you have to do this and this. You don't, of course there's like a kind of a frame, but within that you're totally free. And
Hmm.
I know from some people that they get lost in it,
Hmm.
which I totally get.
Hmm.
But um I feel like this is kind of like at the beginning I also felt lost, but it's also like a big opportunity to have this freedom. And I feel like this is also how real life is. Like, you know, like I had to really, like I came out of school and you're in this really safe system and everything is like predictable and stuff. And then you are just like left alone in the world and
Right.
and I don't know, you kind of have to handle it. And
Totally.
no, I'm really there to just I want to learn stuff and I want to just extend my brain and like how I think and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And also it's funny to think about like um a couple like in my third semester we had like a big project with Parsons in New York is what it was like a
The
collaborative
gallery.
project. Parsons
What is
University.
it? Oh, the university. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Torrin, he's also teaching there
Oh,
from what I
cool.
know.
I didn't know that.
Um,
So cool.
and then we of course would talk about like that they have to pay for uni and we like literally
Don't.
don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and you could tell that like they had a really different way of working. It was so much more like you could feel it's like they have more pressure on them. And then
There's a lot more on the
I'm
line.
super glad. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'm super glad that my studies are not based on money. Like
for sure.
I think it would be a whole different experience if I knew I have to quickly rush through
Of
this
course.
because it's so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah. There's a lot of things like that in
yeah,
America that are like, why? Like, it's
yeah, and
so yeah. I mean, the answer is
yeah,
money. But yeah, it's this Ouroboros of money.
yeah.
Um, cool. Well, I wish you luck on your school. I think you're gonna be totally just fine, and I can't wait to call you Dr. Nell. That would be really fun. Next time. Hello, doctor. Can you help me with my touch designer? um, Another topic I wanted to talk to you about was being a female and a woman in the world of new media and touch designer. I think I've been in this world for almost over a decade, and I think that interestingly enough, like the first people that I found a touch designer was a girl and a guy, Alina and Danny from Romania, and I've never really kind of seen the world of touch designer or whatever new media and VJing as like a boys only club. I always kind of felt like it was the genders were mixed, but I will definitely say that there was definitely always more males than females. And I'm noticing now, I was in Berlin like a few weeks ago, and just in general in touch designer meetups, and just in general like the feeling of VJs around the world, there's a lot more women in it, and I think it's awesome, right? Obviously. And you're young, so I would love to like hear your perspective on it. Like, how does it feel to be a lady in this world, and have you noticed like anything that's like, you know, different or specific? I don't know.
Mm, I mean, first off, I don't like gender to me is something like I don't really see gender. Like I really don't care. I'm just Nele. Like I don't, I'm fine with whatever. And I'm like the same way I feel about other people. I don't see their gender really.
Hmm.
But of course it's a thing, like being in a manner, in a, like
Male dominant.
being in a field, yeah, male dominated area. Um, but it's something I'm kind of used to,
Hmm.
honestly, because I'm
Interesting.
like I skateboard, and this
Oh,
is like the
skater girl.
most male dominated field
For
ever.
sure, for sure. It's funny.
Um, and I mean, sometimes like when it comes to touch design, I feel like it's a really open community. Like there's so many people who started following me where honestly thought they would never follow me because they would think I'm like this little weirdo influencer, like,
Right.
who's I don't know. But I feel like everyone is super super supportive. The only thing I sometimes I honestly feel that I'm a woman by how men treat me.
Hmm.
Like it's the same whether I go to the skate park or like I do something like tacky at uni. Like sometimes men they are a little bit like they're putting themselves a little bit up there,
Hmm.
because of course you're a woman and like
Hmm.
women don't know stuff about, they
Skating
don't know
or
anything
things. Yeah.
about tech. Like, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, when I go to the skate shop, like I've been skating for a couple of years, and when I get like a new DAG or a grip tape, the way they treat me is just so like, they try to help me, but it's like kind of unnecessary because I know what I'm here for and I know what I want. Like, and I don't, you know, if I wouldn't know, I would come up to you and ask, and I
Right.
would be like, I don't know what I want. I don't,
Right.
you know?
Mansplaining,
Um,
I think, is the term.
yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely kind of there, but I personally, I feel like it doesn't really affect me because I don't care.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. I feel like it's something unique about your generation, and it's interesting because America is such a dichotomy. Like it's so in your face, like everything's bigger, right? And like obviously the culture now is much more interested in gender and identity and woke culture and things like this, and it's like you're part of that generation and you're like, well, it doesn't really matter, and I feel like the underlying message of like gender equality and identification and like what are my pronouns and what, like at the end of the day, all of those things are kind of to tell us or to remind us, hey, you could be whatever you want, like do whatever you want, right? Like I feel like it's
Yeah.
sometimes so lost in like you have to, right? I have to write he him on my bio, or I have
Hmm.
to call you by your pronouns, or all these things that are like, but that's like politics hijacking the actual thing, or like you have to be woke, or if you're not woke, or I don't know. And I feel like you're actually kind of giving me a little bit of hope of this thing, because you're like being like, yeah, obviously it's all important, which my generation, me knows as well. I know as well, but you're like, it doesn't really matter. Like I'm just trying to do my thing, and that's kind of like I hope that's where it all ends up, because it is kind of, it does suck when political ideology or like political structures take advantage of grassroots or even like important movements, like for instance, you know LGBTQ rights or whatever,
Hmm.
like gender rights and things like that. And it's like, fuck your politics. Like these are important things. These are not. It's not about
Yeah.
like laws and. I mean, it could be about that, but it's more about like awareness and acceptance. And then when politics hijack it, it's always like, let's bring it to the extreme. Let's. I did
Yeah.
a salute by mistake. I didn't mean to do that, but like, let's. I'm allowed to do it,
Yeah.
but let's bring it, to like some conclusion of political ideology, instead of like it's actually like a humanitarian thing, or it's actually like a cultural thing or identity. So yeah, I mean that's just like, I'm happy that that's the way you're seeing it, and yeah, I'm happy that like even as a woman who realized that it's a male dominant field, you didn't hesitate to go into it. That's like, to me, that's like the most important aspect, because the fact that it's male dominant, you can't change that. That's just the reality, right? Like it's nobody's fault. I mean, maybe it's somebody's fault, but it's definitely not my fault. Definitely not, current people's fault. So, but at the same time, it's super important to have both genders, especially in art. Like the when I get to see people VJing, regardless of their gender, like I want to see expression and self inspiration. And like if all I'm
Hmm.
seeing of that is like guys, then it's not going to be as fulfilling, or it's not going to be as like like humans are both, or whatever, humans are many these days, but
Hmm.
so I want to see all of those people's expression. I want to see all those people's kind of like thing, and that's like I think where male dominant fields um self like are damaging themselves by staying male dominant. And it's really important for the dominant people to be like, no, that's like a mistake, that's like not what it is, please come in. So I'm happy
Hmm.
that you felt that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, in skateboarding, it's just as an example, it's different. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, I still skate and stuff, but there it's way more. I get feel way more uncomfortable, or like I think about this a lot. Like this, like going to this feeling of going to the skate park and there are only guys. Like it's real. This really can be strange sometimes.
Interesting.
But like just in terms of like touch designer and stuff, I don't. No, I feel really.
Good.
I don't really think it's a big deal. So
Good.
um,
I'm happy to hear that.
but that's probably also because of my school,
Hmm.
right? Because like my school is super like it's like a bubble, and like
Hmm.
all of the people, they have like a good mindset, and there
Hmm.
are a lot of people like they don't care about your gender, they care about you as a person. So maybe that's like where I got this mindset from also,
For
and like
sure.
never even thought about it like
Interesting.
that
Interesting. Well, it's
yeah.
also a good sign, you know, I mean, it's a good sign of European culture and German culture, but also just like of the way things kind of are shaping, you know. So good.
Until you step out of your bubble,
Until
and then you're shocked.
and then you're
Yeah.
like, "Whoa." That's funny. That's funny. Well, I guess, you know, maybe like a thing in that is like, um, when you're in your bubble, like when you're in the bubble, really appreciate what you have, you know, so that when you're out of the bubble, you have that connection to what you appreciated, and maybe that will create some sort of armor or some sort of, you know, protection from the real shitty world. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's like some hopeful thing that. So we're getting to the end here. I definitely want to talk to you about just a few more small things. You mentioned that you grew up outdoors, you know, kind of like maybe in a small town, and then you kind of came to the city. Like, do you still connect to the outdoors and like nature? Do you find inspiration there? Like, how do you find time to go out there and get inspiration from the nature if you are all inspired by it?
I mean, sometimes I don't, and then I go really crazy. Like before I came to New York, I had like a really my workload was insane. Like I was just working for like half a year probably, and I
Mm,
was really stressed out, and there's no time to go out. Like it's um I don't know. So this is also why I'm here now, because I just took like these 2 months off to like fully recover from that. Um, because sometimes it is what it is. Like you cannot always go out and like go
for
into the
sure.
nature and stuff, but then
Yeah.
you just have to like then after like do it to to I don't have the word for that.
To
To like
reground yourself or rebalance yourself or
yeah,
something.
yeah, definitely. And I totally need that. Like
Mm,
I feel so good. Like only if I go out and walk, it's such an amazing
changes.
feeling. Um, yeah, to just breathe some fresh air and stuff.
Totally.
Um,
Totally. Um, and your connection to repurposing, I really love that as well. Is that something that you're passionate about? Is it from like the kind of, you know, the three R's: reuse, recycle. What is the reduce, reuse, recycle? Is it from like that kind of philosophy, or is it just more of like you just like junk? Like, is it just cool to you?
I just like junk. If I'm
Yeah,
honest, I just like, I mean, of
I love.
course you can always like if I would put it into a project, then I would
No,
be like reduce, reuse,
yeah,
recycle.
for sure, for
But
sure.
honestly, I love junk.
What
So
about it? Do you know like what it is, like the history, or you know the derelictness of it? Like, what is it?
it's I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm autistic or something. But I mean, I'm
That
seriously
can,
am,
I
so
can,
it's I can say that.
we all are all autistic. Don't worry about it.
I can,
I love that's such a good response. Like that's such a good answer. Like I don't
yeah,
know.
for
I guess I'm
sure.
autistic.
No, but no. Yeah, but honestly, I don't know. I love like textures of
Mm,
things, like plastic or like metal or like I just
mm,
love different materials, I guess.
interesting.
Um I don't really know what it is, honestly, but I'm a big collector of trash.
Interesting. And like, does the feeling like feel good when you collect it, or is it when you repurpose it that it's really like that it becomes like a thing?
Oh, definitely when I repurpose it.
Mm-hmm,
Like,
mm-hmm.
I just collect stuff because I know I will use it sometime.
Mm, mm.
Like, for example, Oh no, I don't know. No, I just wanted to show you some bubble wrap, but it's okay.
For sure. I mean, you're in New York. It's like the play, like the most trash in the world, probably.
Yeah, so amazing. It's so great to go out. I love that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I love that outlook. Yeah, I love all the. I like you're like go to your favorite city is like the most dirty city. You're like, yeah, I love all the trash, all the dirt.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I think that there's like repurposing. I think is like a really powerful thing, especially like how do you connect it to like digital art, you know, like where's the connection between those two? I think is going to be very interesting. Maybe it's even like some pseudo like repurposing digital assets, you know, like you collect a bunch of digital junk and then you repurpose it in some way. Could also be interesting. So lastly, I wanted to talk to you about collaboration, because you did mention it a few times and it seems like you're really passionate about this kind of aspect, and we kind of mentioned it, like what is fun about it, but you know, maybe as we're kind of saying goodbye, is there any like projects that you're really excited about that are coming out, or any new collaborations that you're excited about, and maybe just like what are you looking for in a collaboration if people are interested in wanting to collaborate with you, or you know, just like from the past few years you've gotten so many requests, like yeah, what about collaboration interests you, and what are you looking for in a collaborator?
I think it's definitely that our minds are somehow connected. I get a lot of like
Ooh.
collaborations requests where I immediately feel that it's just for clout. You know, like that it's
Interesting.
just there's so many people who just want to do a shared post in order to get followers.
Right.
And I'm like, why? You know? And um but I'm kind of like, I'm glad I can filter that out now.
Mm.
Um because I'm not going to do something like that. On Monday I will have something really exciting with my friends. Callie and Minna, they're having a band. They're called Daisy the Great.
Mm.
Um, and recently they went super viral with like on Instagram because they were doing videos where they sing and they like switch every syllable. Do you say that? Silber?
Syllable. Yeah.
Silber?
Oh, cool.
And
What is it
like
called?
it's just yeah, you should. Can we watch that right now?
Of course. What is it?
Daisy the Great.
Daisy the Great. Daisy the Great band. Oh, cool. Oh, wow.
And if you check like the reels, um,
This one?
like the
Oh, it's
one where the
sorry, it's all
the
blurry.
text box is.
1 second. This one.
No, not. I mean, yes, of course, yeah. Can you hear it?
That's cool. There's no sound, but let me get the audio in here. Very cool. So this is like your friends have a band.
Yeah. And we are meeting on Monday, and I wanted to test something with them. Like, I would really love to
It's
also
cool.
put them into Touch Designer, and then
Oh,
that it
dude.
measures like the mouth or something,
Yes.
and then that it's
Yes.
like that their voices make like a reaction to a visual, like something
Totally.
that is like kind of like pop, 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 pop,
Bump
pop,
back
pop,
and
pop.
forth, back and forth, back and forth. I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
You're doing such
and
cool stuff.
I mean, other than that, I feel like there's a lot of, I mean, this was not a really specific example, but I'm really looking forward to collaborate with musicians
Mm.
and performers, like people
Mm.
who are really like aware of their body
Body.
movement and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I think, but yeah, but then it's also like it's a matter of time. Like I really love collaborating, but sometimes like I'd be like in contact with 10 people at the same time, and um you know, you have to go step by step, like
For sure.
through each.
For
Yeah.
sure, for sure, for sure. So you said something right now that we're all like connected in somehow. Do you feel like there's like a collective consciousness where ideas are just like sitting? Do you feel like, have you ever connected to like flow states or like, altered states or, whatever, yeah. What is your take on that?
I mean, um, I feel like you can really tell when you're in a flow, especially when you're collaborating. And to me, it's super rare to find these people. And I've also learned that just because I like someone as a person doesn't mean that I can work with them.
That's
Like,
super true. Yeah. Yeah.
um, this is which is so frustrating.
It
somehow.
is. It is.
Um, but I think it's also, I don't know, that's also a reason to go out and to meet new people. So that's, like people you want to create like something cool with. Like, I don't know, in New York, I like I let's say I met like 20 people, and I would say five of them are like, I would be like, oh, we need to do something, you know? Like, um, I don't know. But it's also kind of funny because it's also something that's super new to me, like collaborating. Because as I've said, I come from this really analog background and I like painted a lot and stuff. So I would always just create stuff for myself. I feel like to process things also in a way. And like to just kind of put out my feelings. But it's crazy to see how this has changed and how I value collaborations now. Because in the past, like when someone would like criticize me also in school, I would feel, or like not even criticize, but like just giving feedback, I would
Right.
feel personally like,
Attacked.
like they were, yeah. And I kind of had to learn how to deal with that. And now I feel
Wow.
like it's such an important thing you can learn, that you don't have to take it
Taking
personal. It's
criticism.
just,
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool.
yeah, and it's so important to discuss about stuff. So,
Of course, it's the way that you can grow. By the way, it's not
yeah.
only in art; it's also in relationships and in your criticizing yourself and self love. It's like a whole, it's a whole box there. Um, yeah, man. Well, I really have enjoyed talking to you so much. I really like. I wish I would have met you earlier, and yeah. Anyway, I love talking to you. You're really interesting. You're super inspiring and sweet. So really, thank you so much for taking the time. I really only wanted to talk to you for the clout. I want to get that shared post. So, um, but is there anything you want to share with us before we go?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Thanks for having me. It was first podcast. This was my really first time
Yeah.
and it's been long. It's been 3 hours. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, I'm glad we did it. Thank you for reaching out.
Wow, what an episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Manda Smash for the intro and outro music. Thank you to Sophie Holder for the amazing internship helping us with all the episodes. And thank you to the guests for coming on and spending time with us. See you next week.